Hey everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, it's WORIMI, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides, and the universal energies. Righty-ho, what do I actually want to have a talk about? This one's a little bit tricky. Apparently Israel is stepping up military preparations as the US, it appears there might be a US-Israeli launch against Iran, potentially imminent. Iran has closed the Strait of Hormuz, basically giving the signals to these other countries that, Iran has sovereignty in its own part of the world. And apparently 20% of oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz. So this is going to be rather interesting that I want to have a look at. Now, what else is going on in regards to these particular players? You've got the Orange Twerpers upping pressure on Ukraine to surrender to the Ruskies. Well, that's really interesting considering Ukraine has just recaptured quite a significant amount of ground and has also destroyed, I think, about 6 different military sites, including some massive missile sites. And there has been, I believe, one of the really big oil producers in Russia has filed for international bankruptcy. So yeah, we know what's going on. Russia's basically got its backside hanging out of its pants, and therefore the Orange Twerp is feeling the heat to make it stop. Okay, but aside from that, we've now got this happening with Israel and the US. Now, why on earth is Israel involved? Well, that wouldn't happen to be something to do with a certain Netanyahu being on corruption charges and court cases and all the rest of it. Yeah, can't prosecute them when they're at war, apparently. Anyhow, that's just my sarcasm. I mean, I might be completely off track with that. But I just shake my head because imagine if a country tried to dictate to the US about its nuclear programs, both for consumer production and for weapons of war. Can you imagine how the US would react? No. No, so this is just thuggery on the block. You've got Witkoff and Kushner apparently being involved in the talks. Now, Kushner doesn't even have a security clearance, couldn't get one in the first term, and we know he's all about the money. And then you've got Witkoff, again, property developer, again, all about the money. Both of those are involved in what happened in Gaza. And Witkoff has Russian heritage. It's just absolutely despicable what's going on. Okay, what's also happened, news is there was an article in The Guardian about the International Criminal Court. I believe 8 or 9 judges and administrators have been sanctioned by the US, so basically then put on the terrorist list for simply being judges in the International Criminal Court. The UN has now come out and also said that there is crimes against humanity involved in the EPS files, so they will be starting an investigation. So watch for the Orange Twerp going off about the UN. I think he hasn't paid the bill or something, or he's also pulled the US out of the WHO organisation, owing tens of millions, but okay. And as I'm splitting the deck, I've got rejecting, not liking, sulking, not liking what's on the table, what's on offer, and then we've got the abuse of power and the thuggery, the 2 cards, the 4 of Cups and the 5 of Swords. Just the abuse and thuggery that's on display. If you're wondering what deck, it's the Golden Universal Tarot. So how is this going to go? Is the US going to launch an attack on Iran? Let's ask the first question first. Is the US going to launch something against Iran? Okay, Interesting. I just had a swathe of cards fall out. So come on down, let's have a look. This is my card for the military. But then we have the King of Swords. And then we have the Justice card, the Ten of Wands, the Overreach, and then we have the Mercenary Actions. I think the military might question. Interesting timing that Heggs just sacked Driscoll, who is one of the heads in the Pentagon, who is also a close friend of Shady. And if you're wondering who Shady is, his first initials are JD. Forced the retirement of Driscoll's spokesperson, Colonel Butler, because he once worked for Miley. But this is interesting that Heggs would demand that Colonel Butler be retired off at this particular time. It's almost like a threat. And my deck was wanting to fall open at this point. On the bottom, we've got the Wheel of Fortune, the Death card, and then the Star card. Some sort of an announcement coming from the White House. End of a legacy. And, well, it's my Mark Kelly, my Biden card. Something being legally moved forward that's going to bring about a cleansing and a new beginning. Finding themselves out in the cold with a nightmare situation and having to walk away. Legal action being taken about this abuse of power and some sort of legal ruling. There's on the bottom, hidden agendas under the Wheel of Fortune. The military might just inability to harvest, and we've then got the legal decision to be made, and then we've got a new opportunity. Okay, might be ordered and then not go ahead because there's no legal grounds to actually attack. Here's the Yuccas. Page of Swords, Whistleblower, and Ace of Swords. Big legal action. It's also the strategy card, so let's have a little look further. Will the regime, now I'm not asking about the military, will the regime be able to undertake, oh, interesting, an attack on Iran? When I say interesting, I was just given the vision, I'll just bring you up, just given the vision that there was supposed to be a simultaneous with Israel and the US, but the US say, oh, nope, and so Israel do, but oh, that'll wipe them off the map. It was supposed to be a simultaneous, but yeah, we've got the lies and the thief in the camp and trying to make off like a bandit, but there's two still standing there, leaving the camp unprotected. There's something there. Come on down, let's have a look. See what's on the top. Right. Volatile information being brought forward. Well, this could be an order that is sent out via messenger, but is halted. I was going to say doesn't get through, but is halted, pulled up. Challenged by an inability to make it happen. Looking at other options with the Seven of Pentacles. The energy that they're stewing in, this is the regime, think that they've got the ducks all lined up, emotional ducks lined up in a row, and they think they're all that in a bag of chips. In the past, we've got the Queen of Pentacles. No swords yet, though. Queen of Pentacles. Looking closely at the orders. I think there have been some military commanders that have gotten some external legal advice. Let me put it that way. Crowning this reading, naivety. A gift being presented in naivety. Then you've got the King of Swords, the overreach with the 10, the Nine of Swords, the nightmare situation. But a decision needs to be made in the hopes and fears. Looking at the bigger picture, potentially looking at the International Criminal Court. Warning, because they were given a warning. With this crimes against humanity, the outcome. The Empress, the walking away, and the Emperor. Russia, walking away. The Emperor and his foolishness. Financial reasons for doing this is going to bite them on the bum. Inability to bring the ships in with the Three of Wands and a Tower moment. There's something, I think the military might say no. You've got the lying and stealing strategy here, but there's still two upstanding. The Two of Pentacles, weighing up the options, and then I think saying no, which is unexpected. And then we have a return, a moderation and retreat. I think the US military might say no to this. I suspect some of the commanders have been getting some legal advice. So show me, is Israel going to be hung out to dry? Is Israel thinking that they're going to be part of a joint strike? Does Israel think they're going to be part of a joint strike? Let's ask that question first. Is Israel, the Israel Defense Force, or Netanyahu and Herzog, or whatever his name is, Herzog, is the Israeli Defense Force being led that it's going to be a joint strike? Yep, Ace of Pentacles. Yep, charging in rashly. But then it just turns into a big bun fight with the Five of Wands. Okay, so that's telling me yes, it is. So let's have a look. Is the Israeli Defense Force going to... I put them back randomly, split the deck, and there it is again. The throwing under the bus. The ship's not coming into harbour. The plan is laid, but the ships are not coming in. They're not on the horizon there. So is Israel going to find itself hung out to dry in regards to a potential attack? Now, I'm quite happy to be wrong on all this. I'd rather no attack at all. I'd rather they all just packed up their bat and ball and went home. But is Israel going to find itself hung out to dry? Ace of Swords. The minor party in some sort of strategy here. And there's a big yes card. The Sun. Challenged by the Sun. Yes. Yes. Oh boy. Ten of Swords. The energy that they're stewing in. Stabbed in the back. Betrayed. Brought down. Gosh, I hope they blooming don't, for their own sake. In the past, you've got the end of an era, something ending, Crowning this reading, the ship's not coming in. This is the plan that has been laid. 3 of Wands, plan has been laid, but the ship's not coming in. 2 of Swords, some sort of strategy decision that will need to be made. Externally for them is the Ace of Pentacles. New opportunity. Internally, looking back within, protecting itself, being forced to protect itself. The Death card, ending. False victory, being dethroned, sacrificed with the Hanged Man. The partnership, the Lover's card, and the 5 of Cups, the partnership failing as the military wrestle with its conscience with that 2 of Pentacles. And then we've got the Wheel of Fortune turning away. I think they might be, yes. I hope somebody is quick enough to press the stop button when they realise the US military have decided no. Okay, how's this going to go for the regime? If they have ordered it happen, the military decide no. How's this going to go? The UN has declared that there is stuff in the files that is crimes against humanity. Some sort of something coming out of the White House. Foolishness. Feathering one's nest, or just not listening. And foolishness. Not listening and foolishness. Hearing what they want to hear. ICC is now in prominence again, and the thuggery against the ICC. Let's have a look. How is it, if this plays out? You saw that fling out, 10 of Swords. It's the end. How's this play out for the regime if the military say no? Harsh truth with the Knight of Swords, but it's also recklessness, and then on the back foot, defensive. Ace of Pentacles again. The opportunity to look at the bigger picture with that 2 of Wands, and the abuse of power, betrayal, thuggery, facing justice. Oh boy. And then the end of an era. Wow. For the government, as news comes forward, or as the order is not taken forward. You've got the Temperance card, trying to create alchemy for the Emperor, but there's my Treason card and Big Stick. This, forced to retreat, money trails, legal action, the military, Russia, disappointment, agreements, foolishness, an offer being put to the voters. Something has been put to the voters when this unravels. This is actually pretty important. The Emperor with treason and Big Stick and downfall, and on the back foot, defensive. How's it going to go for the regime? Not well. Okay. Oops, got those cards upside down. Don't mess with my cards. Put them around the other way. Okay, I'm just going to have a quick look, just poked on the end of this with a different deck. What deck do I want? Just use the Rider-Waite deck. Someone mentioned in the comments yesterday when we were talking about the Supreme Court that perhaps Usha is going to be offered a position on the Supreme Court in exchange for giving up Shady. Could very well. As I split the deck, we've got the Six of Pentacles, favours, but Seven of Pentacles potentially being rejected, looking at options. So is Usha going to be offered Alito's position? I think she is, potentially. And then we've got the King of Swords. Legal action. Got the sun poking out, but then you've got the restriction with the Eight of Swords and a whistleblower coming forward with the Page of Swords. Yeah, I think you might be right that she will be offered it. Question is, will she take it? It's like they dangle this carrot as if it's, the be-all and end-all. Oh, gosh, I put those back randomly. And there it is again, the Eight of Swords. Feeling restricted, trying to find a way out, not given any options, having to rely on her emotions to move forward. Legal restriction here. Is Usha going to be offered is Usha going to take a position on the Supreme Court in exchange for giving Shady to Erica or something? Is she going to take a position on the Supreme Court? Won't speculate on the rest of it. Okay, some sort of announcement being made. Page of Wands. Oh, that'll peeve off Canon, won't it? Secret deals being done behind the scenes in a threesome. Two telling one what they need to do. Manipulation with the Magician. On the back foot, feeling defensive, pushing back. In the past. Getting a hands off my husband vibe there. Tis a plan, tis been option that has been considered, but the ships are sailed. That ship's already sailed. There's the offer in the immediate future. She's watching her ship sailing away. Watching the marriage sail away is what I'm getting there. There's the offer being made. There's that Eight of Swords again. She's feeling intellectually restricted in this relationship. It's not a healthy relationship, and it is a nightmare situation for her. So Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords. She's been offered it as a way out, but she doesn't. I'm getting it's just this. No, it's not. No. Okay. Ten of Pentacles, end of a legacy. Consider the children. There's the Supreme Court. But you've got rash action, the Knight of Swords, and a false victory with the Six of Pentacles. The quid pro quo with the Six of Wands, Six of Pentacles, the quid pro quo, and the Empress, the Mother, considering other options with that Two of Wands. The Strength card. I've never been in a bag Usha camp, basically because I myself have been in a horrific. My first marriage was a horrible, horrible narcissistic where basically you just get inch by inch by inch by inch worn down, and everything's always your fault, and it's always you are the problem, etc. And I know how that goes and how's that feel, especially if you're in the limelight. Because my ex was very much about big noting himself on the public stage. So therefore you had to play the role, even though it was not a role that you chose for yourself, because how dare you do anything different? You know, it was just, I've never been in the Usha camp. I think she might bring her strength forward and make some sort of other announcement with that Ace of Wands, and then we've got the Ace of Swords. I don't know that she's going to take it. Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords, about the dysfunctional relationship, and she's out of Dodge. She's gone. Always seen her divorcing him. The offer, looks at it, takes something else. It's almost like with this offer, she finds her strength and her dignity. So yeah, I'm going to say yes, they are going to offer it to her. But I think she's going to take a path that they didn't think she was going to take. Good on her. Okay, let's see how it goes. Love to you all. Take care. Bye-bye.